The following video is guaranteed to be terrible.
Hey, you know the world is lenses. There's so much about. How do we know which best piece of to pick? I mean, is this one any good? Is that too wide? Is this one the wide angle? Is that a wide angle? What's this one do? What's that one do? Where do I go? What do I do? Who am I? Hello there, you nerdy interwebbers. I wanted to do a video. It's a bit boring this, but I need to get it done. I want to get it out of the way because it's something I had a problem with when I decided I wanted to start vlogging. I wanted the picture quality to look better than the one you're looking at now. I'm recording this on my vlogging camera, which is just a small Sony Cybershot. And sometimes I do some vlogging for sit-down vlogs with this camera here, which is a Canon 60D. I bought it second-hand off eBay. It was about £420, including this lens and a bag and a few extras. So the three lenses that I have is this one here. This is the Canon 10 to 18mm. I've got this here, which is a big zoom lens. This is 17 to 85mm, and this little bad boy here is a 50mm Canon lens. So I'm going to have a look at all of them, and maybe you can decide for yourself whether you think these are good choices for vlogging. This one here is a wide angle lens. This is a zoom, and it's pretty good actually. It goes quite wide, which I like. And this one, a 50mm, this kind of zooms in quite a lot.
Right, well, the first thing I'm going to say is that I don't know anything about lenses, but I can tell you what I can see with this lens. It's got some numbers, and they go from 0.45 meters to infinity, so that's quite useful. You can film infinity. Good luck finding that. It's got a bayonet metal mount on it with the electronic sensors, so you can adjust the autofocus on it. It's got an autofocus switch on the side, and surprisingly at the front there's a big lens with some writing around the edge. So that's about as technical as I get with lenses.
Okay, so the first lens we're going to look at is this one here, which I'm now going to talk to you on the actual lens itself. As you can see, this is probably out of focus. I'm just going to fiddle around with it a little bit. The lens itself is about 50 centimeters from my face, maybe a bit more. And it is looks okay. It's kind of like just this part of my face, which is a little bit too close, probably a little bit too uncomfortable to watch. I don't know, 50mm lens, it seems a bit too close for me. I think that in order to get a decent shot, I'd have to go much further back. And of course, the much further back I go, the worse the audio gets. So you kind of need to be kind of this close to the camera to get that kind of shot. So this is what the 50mm lens looks like. And by the way, if you really want to know, I am running an ISO of, let's have a look at the ISO. I'm running an ISO of 800, and there's a 7.1 sort of f-stop there. This is the lens as it looks on the vlogging camera. The lighting I've set up in here, I have a light source here, and there's even one behind me up there. Okay, so next up I'm going to try a different lens. So that's the sort of most zoomed in lens you can get. The next lens I'm going to try is this one. This is the 17 to 85mm. Let's take a look at this and see how it looks.
Basically, we've got to admit that we just want to look at the lenses, don't we? There's no point in me telling you about them because I'm not a photographer. I don't know a great deal about lenses, but I do like this one. It's a big, long bad boy. It's about 15 centimeters when fully extended. It's got autofocus on it. This one has a polarizer on the end, which I added. I think it's 77mm, and that just helps me with reflections. It's got a metal bayonet connector. I don't know what that mount is called, with electronic sensors. Cool.
Right, well, I've put up the 17 to 85mm lens. As you can, I'll just turn the camera around so you can see it. It's a much bigger lens, and it does zoom quite a lot, which I'll show you in a minute. The output from this, the same distance as the previous one, looks a little bit like this. I'll hold the vlogging camera there. As you see, there's a lot more space around me. It's okay for sort of vlogging distances. I pretty much think everything in the background tends to be a little bit in focus, which I'm not too mad keen on. But also there's kind of like, yeah, I mean, it's pretty good. I'm not too unhappy with it. This incidentally has the same ISO and exposure as the previous lens. I just replaced the lenses. I wouldn't suggest this is how you expose your camera for some vlogging like this. It looks a little bit dark to me and needs to be brightened up. So I'm not going to grade any of these pictures. These are all raw. They're all raw as they come out of the camera. So this is how this camera looks. So what I'm going to do is zoom in now. I'm going to zoom it in and see how it looks as I zoom in. So let's do that. So it's zooming in, and you now see the lens is fully extended, and as it's zoomed in, obviously I've gone out of focus and we're just focusing on my spotty nose. That's pretty much it. And you can see how much light is failing to get down the lens now. It's getting a lot darker, which will start making it a little bit noisier. So, you know, you either need to increase your lighting for this, and I've got a lot of lights here, remember, look, I've got all these lights here, remember. So you either need to increase your lighting for this, or you need to get yourself a wider angle lens, which is what I'm going to show you now. And when I put this next lens in, you'll notice that because it's so wide angle, it gets a lot of light in, so it'll probably, I think, be way too bright. Again, I'm not going to adjust the exposure of the camera. It's just as it was when I first started recording and testing these 3 different lenses.
Just in case you're curious, this was actually shot using the 17 to 85mm lenses. This is what it can do with being quite zoomed in. The lens we're looking at is the 10 to 18mm. It's a very plasticky feeling lens, and as you can see on the back there, it's got a plastic mount with no sensor. So I don't know if this one can auto. I don't think it's got sensors. We'll check in a second. Yeah, it's got an autofocus there on the side and steady assist. Yeah, there's the sensors there, so you can get some sort of autofocus on this bad boy. It's a lovely lens. It gets a very wide image, and it's one of my favorites. The only downside I would say is that it's very plasticky, but I don't personally feel that's a bad thing. It just makes it very light when it's on the camera.
Right, well, we've switched over to the last lens, which is the wide angle lens. It's the 10 to 18mm lens. I'll just cut to it now. Look how much wider this is. I mean, it's enormous. I've got my arms almost completely thrown out, and it's just so much room to take everything in. I'll just show you how the lens looks on the camera. You can see it's a very small lens. It's a very plasticky lens. It's not very expensive. It's a couple £100. I just bought this actually especially for vlogging. What I'm going to do now is just zoom in on this lens so you can see how the lens actually looks, and also while I'm recording I'll do the zoom in so you can see how much you can tighten the shot for sort of vlogging levels. But I think look, it's so wide in fact that you can see the light up here. Look, you can see that light. So and I am just a little bit too bright, so it's kind of useful when you're in sort of darkened environment and you can actually use a lens like this. It lets more light in, things are a little bit brighter. It's a 67mm rim around the edge if you want to buy a polarizer for it. Let's do the zoom in now. That's the focus. There you go, that's it, fully zoomed in. Let's try and focus it. I'm focusing it by eye. So that's how it looks zoomed in, which is kind of, which is kind of sort of vlogging level. I don't know if I can't really. I'm going to stop recording it only briefly just so I can check the focus, okay? Right, the focus is checked, it's fully zoomed in. This is what the 10 to 18mm lens looked like, and I think you'll agree it's pretty cool. It's certainly my favourite. I love the wide angle capability. The other good thing about it is if I do zoom out again, ignore the cat there, I can actually get pretty close. Look, let me just show you by putting my finger up here. If I can focus on my finger, I can get pretty close. Look at that. That's sort of how macro it can go, which I think is, you know, really pretty cool. And look how soft I've become in the background. I mean, it's a great lens. By the way, let me just get the vlogging camera up. I am now only a few millimeters. You can see how close I am to the lens. I'll bring the vlogging camera in so you can see this is how close I am to the lens. I'm not moving, I'm not, you know, so you can get right up to the lens. You go a little bit cross-eyed when you touch the lens this close, but I just think it's really, really cool. It's a great lens. I love using it and I strongly recommend it. I'll put a little link down in the description if you want to use my affiliate link to go and buy it. By the way, I don't have any sponsors for this type of thing. I've got nobody phoning me saying, hey, can you say good stuff about our lenses? If I thought it was crap, I would say it was crap. You know, be assured of that. But I love this. I think it's very cool. I think the shot's fantastic. It's too bright because I haven't adjusted any settings between these lenses. Obviously, I need to stop that down a bit. If I can just change the exposure now, shall I? Oh, too much. Too much. There you go. Just get a little bit of burn out. Give you something to grade in the edit. So there you go. Pretty cool. I like it. Lovely lens. 10 to 18 millimeter. Well, thank you very much for watching this video. There are other videos here in the world of Fluctibus Flood. I have a whole range of things I like to talk about. I'm currently doing a series of reviews of YouTubers. I'm also commenting on broadcast television programs, and I'm doing reviews of stuff like this. And also on my other channel, which is the vlogs of Fluctibus Flood, I'll put a link here. That is another place you can go to if you want to find out more about the life that I live as a freelance producer-director. I make vlogs about everyday stuff that I do, not just about television programs, but all about my life with my cats and my flatmate and my life here in London. And also a little bit behind the scenes of the job I have. So if you're bored of what I'm saying now, go and watch the vlogs and maybe they will interest you or bore you more. Don't really know. Remember, you can follow me on Twitter. I am at Fluctibus Flood. You can always like or leave a comment or just subscribe to the channel. Every little bit of that really, really helps me and doesn't take too much time or energy on your part. But the more people I have feeding back that they're interested in me doing this kind of stuff, the better it is for me, the better it is for the channel, and it means I'll go and make more videos. So if you do like what I'm doing and what I'm saying here and like the video and the content, then, you know, leave me a comment and click that subscribe button, and also why don't you give me a little thumbs up. That really helps me know that I'm getting it right and that you're happy with what I'm doing.
Thanks for subscribing, liking and sharing. Follow me on Twitter at Fluctibus Flood.